Everyone, this is the Anthony. It's the Arizona Business Podcast. Interesting times we're going through, and they continue to rise in their interest levels. That's a great intro. We'll add that to part of the conversation coming up here. Today, I wanted to bring up what is really going on, and I think it goes deeper than just the fact that we're dealing with the pandemic of sorts. We're trying to deal with ourselves and how well we prepared for the future and how well we prepared for mishap, preparing for taking in knowledge about a subject and doing our best to follow rules and listen to what we feel is true and correct and is abide byable. But even deeper, and I'm going to go with more of the business side of things a little today. I understand that's not always the most important topic for sure, and by no means am I saying it is, but for the purpose of this podcast and this video, it's a subject that I'm going to tackle. When you really think about what you're doing as a job, what you work on, if it's your own business, whatever it might be, this is the moment to really find out, do you enjoy doing it? It's easy to allow something to happen when times are good, just to kind of get in the status quo. Life day to day is pretty normal. You don't have to deal with much. You can go home and do whatever. Or maybe you do have a business and you're working 15 hours a day and you're just like, whatever, just got to get through the next day. I'll figure out how to make this all work better tomorrow. Now we're in crunch time. A number of things have happened. Either businesses have closed down, they've had to reorg, which is a kind term for fire people and redistribute all the tasks at hand. You have a lot of people that are probably going to go into depression after this. And I want to really bring home the idea of, do you actually enjoy what you're doing? Most people don't tell you that work is pretty mundane. I mean, there's amazing moments. I meet a lot of amazing people. But for me, a lot of my day, because we'll use me as an example, I'm a one-person show in my consulting. A lot of my time is reaching out to somebody for the first time, having that initial conversation, finding out if they even need my help, or if there's anything I can do to aid in them doing a little better in their business. A lot of it is just mundane reaching out to people. In fact, I don't get to educate like I love to, more than I'd say 20% of the actual work it takes to get to that point. I think for every hour I spend 5 hours doing something else to get in front of people, to set something up, to build out a presentation, have a sales conversation. Any one of those things takes up time of stuff I'd rather not do. I want to just go teach. I want to go have a conversation with people, figure out what's going on, and create a line of communication, help people get through it. I want to learn. I want to go out there and I want people to teach me. I don't want to be sitting here trying to make another sales call, but that's what it takes. That right there is where I know if I really want to do this or not, is how well I'm willing to do those other tasks. Because if you don't want to do those other tasks, what requires you to really take a hold and accomplish what you're trying to get done, you probably don't actually want to do that thing. A lot of people want to learn an instrument. They want to be able to play guitar at the campfire. How many people are actually going to pick up that guitar and practice for the 100, 200, or 300 hours that it takes just to get a good bass for what they're trying to do? How many people are going to sit there and call or reach out to 200, 300, 400 people to try to get that first sale? These are the moments. The mundane, required tasks that will test your actual commitment to what you're doing. It goes for the same for marriage, for love, for working out, for having a pet, all these things. It's those mundane moments that actually matter the most. And my suggestion to you is if you don't like the mundane moments of that action or that goal you want to accomplish, it's probably not for you. You really got to enjoy that journey. I've definitely been in industries and in moments in life where I did not enjoy the journey, and it hurt. You don't even want to get out of bed. And it's not even that you're necessarily depressed or anything. You're so bored out of your mind that you literally wake up, you're like, is this really worth doing? You only got one shot at this. There's only one day. You don't even get tomorrow. You might be lucky enough to have it. No one's obligated to give it to you. It's not a right. You might not make it through the night. So much for tomorrow. So when you sit here and really try to analyze what you're doing and say, well, Anthony, no, I can't do that because I can't change careers now. I'm 45 and I'm already 20-some years deep and I 2 kids and I can't. I was like, okay, next. You're not the person I'm talking to. You're going to make excuses until I get tired of hearing you, and I listen to people. That's my whole job. Sometimes I don't do it well, but I really dedicate myself just to listening. I want you to understand that I understand you, or at least have some aspect of your life understood, enough to help you get through whatever you're trying to get through, mostly in a business sense. But don't give me those excuses and expect me to care. Plenty of stories. Plenty. Trust me. Go out on the internet. Millions of individuals that had that situation. Maybe not millions, at least thousands. There's 7.7 billion of us, I believe, when I wrote. Like 7.35 billion. I'm not quite sure. It's around there. Doing exactly what you said you can't do. So I know that's just you at this point, making excuses. And yes, there are certain extraneous circumstances, but you can get through them. I'm telling you this now. If you really want, you could do it. Now, not everyone will succeed. And I'll look the camera square in the eye and say, not everyone will succeed. I understand that too. Some will fail and have to go back. I'm not even talking about succeeding every time. I'm talking about at least giving it a go. Living your life. Because if you hate what you do and now it's tough and now you really don't like what you do, I mean, that's going to be a rough go, man. When you have to go back to that and you already didn't like it in the good times, and now you're having a really rough situation because you're getting the same pay for double the work, or your business is down 30% and you already weren't enjoying every day going to the office that you built. Looking at the people that you hired and you already don't like what's going on, it's not gonna work out. Or it might, and you'll really not like yourself. But if you're into that, then go ahead. Some people are. That's how they roll. What do I want you to get out of this? Lean into the mundane, or pick something else to do. That's probably the most simplistic way I can do it. I can say it. It's the Anthony S. Arizona Biz Podcast. Hopefully we got some new interviews coming up pretty soon here. The pandemic messed with some things, messed with some interviews that I already had set up, and we'll just have to go from here to see what we can get done. Once again, the Anthony S. Arizona Biz Podcast. Talk to you soon.